Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we're going to be talking about the case of Katlyn Harp, which she went missing on June 19th of 2025, and since then a lot of you have been asking me to cover this case, so here we are. Of course I will cover it. I mean, so much has been going on in true crime. I'm glad we can get to it now though. So we're going to do, of course, a presentation as we always do. I've got video clips to show you and maps. And also we've got the probable cause affidavit thanks to Grizzly Cat. So thank you, Grizzly Cat. If I haven't put a coffee link in the description box yet, I will put it in right after this live stream. All right, so please like and share so others can also learn about this information and share this case in case maybe people don't know about it either. Okay. Again, thank you to everyone for emailing me. If you ever want to email me anything, my email is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. Welcome everyone. I see Interrogation Files is here. You said, well, hello Grizzlies. I hope you're well. I hope you are well too. I hope that you all had a good 4th of July if you were celebrating that as well, and that you are doing okay today. Okay, so Katlyn Harp was born on September 26th of 1991 to Daryl Lane and Shawnee Tressler. She has 2 siblings. She was a 33-year-old mother of 5 and also had 2 stepchildren. She was last seen on June 19th of 2025 at her home on Fairview Drive in Hemlock Township, Bloomsburg, so Pennsylvania. That's where this case takes us today. Pennsylvania, where she lived with her husband, Lloyd Harp. Okay, so JT said, I know Vinny the plumber. Thanks for taking this. Thank you so much to all locals who are here, to any family and friends that knew Katlyn Harp. We're going to get to the details of the case, but I'm so sorry for your loss. So here's a picture of the husband, nickname Vinny, obviously his full name, Vincent Lloyd Harp. And there's a quote that Katlyn had shared on her Facebook page which says, be such a beautiful soul that people crave your vibe. And I feel like from everything that I've read from family and friends sharing about her, that is a vibe that people crave, that she gave off, right? Nick the Hat, thank you so much for that sticker. Okay, so shame. And I mean, I've been following this case on X and I was really hoping, as we all were, that they would find her alive and well. Now, she was originally from Lewistown, Mifflin County, Pennsylvania, and described by friends and family as an amazing, beautiful soul with a heart of gold, who was kind, genuine, and loved her children deeply. You know, it's a case oh man, it's so sad. We hear of this so often where they would do anything for their children. You know, when the husband is kind of saying, well, I don't know, she just up and left, but everyone's saying she would never just up and leave. And that's how this case started as well. Katlyn graduated from Lewiston High School in 2010 and went on to become a certified nursing assistant. She dedicated her life to caring for others, working in several nursing homes and providing in-home care throughout the community. Katlyn was very close to her family and spoke to her sister Heather every day. So Heather knew immediately that something was very, very wrong when she didn't hear from her the very next day of June 20th of 2025. She also had the Life 360 app for safety so that family and friends could always know where she was, which, as you might know, it's an app that can track your location, and you share that location not just with the public but with family and friends that you add to this app so that they can always see updates of where you are. We recently watched the Maxwell Anderson trial. The victim there was Sade Robinson, and she also had the Life 360 app, and it really helped to solve her case. Shame, and she was so beautiful. Look at Katlyn's pictures. My goodness. So Katlyn was last seen on June 19th of 2025 between 9 and 11 p.m. at her home, according to her husband. On June 20th, her sister Heather called the Hemlock Township Police Department to request a welfare check, noting that it was unusual for Katlyn not to communicate daily. A missing persons flyer was created. Katlyn Harp, they said, please help us find her. Last known whereabouts was in the area of Fairview Drive in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Life 360 last notification was around 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, June 18th, so even the day before of 2025. If you have any information regarding Katlyn's whereabouts, please contact the local authorities immediately. Heather, her sister, had also noticed that Katlyn's Life 360 app stopped updating, which was unusual. At 7:30 p.m. on June 18th, and eventually a $3,000 reward was offered for information leading to finding Katlyn. Now here I've made you a little visual timeline because I was trying to figure this all out and remember it as well, and I hope it helps you too. So on Wednesday, June 18th, was her last Life 360 notification at 7:32 p.m. at her home, which she shared with her husband, Vincent. And on Thursday, on June 19th, her sister Heather spoke with her at 6:44 p.m. because, you know, they spoke every day, but she spoke with her on the phone. Her phone was then apparently turned off at 7:37 p.m. Vincent says that he saw Katlyn between, 9 and 11. Isn't that quite vague, though? Like, oh yeah, telling the police, I saw her between 9 and 11. Okay. Then he says when he woke up the next morning at 5 a.m., she was just gone. Couldn't find her anywhere. On Friday, June 20th, there was a text that says the phone must have gone on again, because then they say her last text was at 3:58 a.m. But to who or whom? Her text went to her husband. So the speculation is that he texted himself from her phone. Okay. Heather requested a welfare check at 4:08 p.m. on that day. Now, the text that was sent from her phone said, I love you so much, but I can't. So this was sent from her phone to her husband's phone. Okay. I love you so much, but I can't. I'm sorry for talking to them guys on Snap, but I need a break. I'm going to have my friend pick me up. I'm taking a bag. I'll get hold of you in a couple of days to get the rest of my shit. Please don't destroy my shit. I need my space to get out of my head. Now, family and friends say that's not how she writes. That's not how she talks. And they noticed all the spelling mistakes as well. And they're like, no, that doesn't sound like her at all. And all the red flags were raised of something is very, very wrong. Her sister said if anyone knows Katlyn, her typing is unique. I don't believe it was her. Her husband said he went to Verizon and the text log is not on there. Like, damn, when did he do that? He's like, let me just quickly go to Verizon. Just prove, yeah, that's not there. The text log is not there. Oh, okay, dude. Now, Katlyn's sister, pictured top left, Heather, told the police that she had spoken to Vincent and that he told her that they had a fight after dinner on Thursday, June 19th. Oh my. And remember, he told everyone he last saw her between 9 and 11 p.m. on that day. Police issued a regional alert through East Central Communications to local law enforcement to be on the lookout for Katlyn. While police were investigating Katlyn's disappearance, interviewing family members, searching, contacting the treatment center where Katlyn went to get methadone treatment, her sister, friends, and family and community were also searching for her. And they did a very good job. Okay, so on June 22nd, the case was actually handed over to the Pennsylvania State Police. So then I want to show you this clip here quickly. Yeah.
Appearance of a Columbia County woman is now the focus of a state police investigation. 33-year-old Katlyn Harp out of a Bloomsburg area went missing a week ago tonight. I-Team's Andy Mihalchik working the story. Andy, you were in Columbia County today. What did we learn?
Well, Nick, family members say she would not just walk away from her home and her life without contacting somebody in her family. They just want answers. Have you seen 33-year-old Katlyn Harp? If you have any information as to her whereabouts, you are urged to contact state police. These photos are taken from the state police Facebook page, PSP Tips. According to troopers, Harp was last seen at her home on Fairview Drive in Hemlock Township at 7:30 p.m. last Thursday, June 19th. The initial missing person investigation was launched by Hemlock Township Police, but the state police criminal unit based at the Bloomsburg barracks took over the investigation on Sunday. Now, Harp's home is located between Bloomsburg and Millville, near Route 42. We went to the home today to try and speak with her husband, but no one answered the door. We did see a state police cruiser traveling.
Sorry, what? They went there to speak to the husband and no one answered the door? You mean he didn't want to do any on-camera interviews? Oh my word, I wish he had. I really wish he had. Nick the Hat says the Katlyn sister has a GoFundMe. I do have it linked in the description box and we will get to that. Thank you so much. Oh my word, I wish that this dude did some on-camera interviews, huh? Sure.
Slowly on Fairview Drive. What, if anything, that trooper was doing in the area is not yet known. A state police spokesperson tells me that they will not make any comment on the ongoing investigation, only to say it is a very active investigation. The I-Team has also confirmed that the family was planning a search for Harp today, but called it off to let the state police handle any searches. If you have any information about Katlyn...
Okay, so those numbers are still there. You can still call them if you have any tips, if you saw anything, if you know anything, and you haven't yet said anything, please do call any of those numbers that you see on the screen there. Okay, so then check this out, the timeline. So on June 22nd, the case was handed over to the Pennsylvania State Police, and on June 23rd, they were like, yeah, we need to talk to you, buddy. They spoke to Vincent, the husband, the last person to see Katlyn alive. Now, I've got screenshots here from the probable cause affidavit. I do have the probable cause affidavit as well. Thank you. There's Grizzly Cat. Thank you, Grizzly Cat, for obtaining the PCA and all the court documents for us to review. I've just done it this style so that you guys have, you know, interesting pictures to look at while we read these details, because it's quite something. So I hope that you're paying attention, right? Okay, so through the course of the interview, and I want to see that interview, it was revealed that Vincent Harp was in constant communication with Katlyn via his cell phone in the days and hours leading up to her disappearance. Vincent Harp related that he received a message from Katlyn in the early morning hours of the 19th of June of 2025, after her Life 360 app was no longer active. So he's literally like, yeah, I noticed that her app wasn't active anymore. And then, you know, suddenly then he's also not communicating with her after that, which is kind of weird too. But anyway, he's telling the police his little story. Throughout the interview, Vincent Harp was inconsistent with his movements before, during, and after Katlyn's disappearance. These discrepancies include stating that he had talked to his counselor, and then changing his story to say that he did not speak with his counselor the morning of June 20th. Like, why does he need to insert that detail? What? So the day after your wife is last seen alive with you at your house, you're like, yeah, I went to the counselor. Actually, let me take that back. I never went to the counselor. It's just like the weirdest detail. He initially related that he had his phone with him on Friday morning. Then he changed his account to say that he left his phone at the office. Oh, okay. Vincent Harp related that he made numerous texts and calls to the victim. Additionally, he omitted locations that he traveled to and failed to report interactions with Katlyn. And there, look at him standing here with this whole collage of Katlyn's face. Yeah, so you could see why I put a red flag there for him, hey? Now, he is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Not that we are in a courtroom right now. We're part of the public opinion. And my opinion is that he is very sus. Okay. He has been arrested, by the way. Spoiler alert. Yes, he has been. So, through the course of this investigation, it was learned that Vincent Harp appeared at the Sunoco gas station located at 100 Montour Street, Danville, Pennsylvania, on the 20th of June of 2025 at approximately 5:41 p.m. During his appearance at this Sunoco location, Harp entered the gas station. After walking around the station, he approached the cashier and asked if the store sold gloves. The cashier informed him they did not. Harp then asked the cashier if he could have a pair from the store. Harp related that he only needed one pair. Harp is then observed on video placing the gloves in his pocket and then walking back out to his silver in color Chevrolet Silverado parked at a gas pump before leaving his location. This is significant to this investigation as this identifies one of the vehicles that Harp utilized to travel to a location of interest in the disappearance of Katlyn Harp. This location of interest is located on Shade Mountain Road. Yeah, he's being extra shady and going to Shade Mountain Road, a mountain road approximately 15 miles in length that is not heavily traveled. During his interviews, Vincent Harp was unable to articulate a reason for being on the stretch of roadway. Well, how do they know he was there? It's known that Vincent Harp was stuck on this roadway in a 2007 GMC Yukon on the morning of the 20th of June of 2025 between 10 and 11 that morning. You know, when he was going to see his counselor, really he was just out there on Shade Mountain Road doing who knows what. So they say this caused both Vincent Harp and the vehicle to be covered in mud. Through examination of his cell device, he returns to this location on the 20th of June of 2025 between approximately 6:20 p.m. and 6:50 p.m. During examination of this heavily wooded, desolate location, evidence of drag marks into and out of the wooded area were observed. These drag marks appear to originate from the location that Vincent Harp's phone communicated with the network. Now, this is a clip that somebody has. Let me just see if I can put this out on here. Somebody on social media took this clip, which is actually quite amazing because they kept, I don't know, for some reason someone was saying it kept getting deleted. It was handed over to the police, but it's all over X, it's all over Facebook again, so I don't know. Here it is. This is apparently someone towing him out of there when he got stuck. Okay, so that was that. And I also was just looking on the map here quickly, like how far is that? And they did say, you know, about an hour to the west. And so if we look at this map, where they stayed, hello, just go away over here. Can you go away? Okay. Fairview Drive is where the house was, right? Where Katlyn and Vincent lived in Pennsylvania. Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, this Harp Lane is where they found her body. This Montour Street is where the Sunoco gas station was, where he asked for gloves. And then all the way down here along this Shade Mountain Road, there's a stretch of road here. If you zoom in, and I think this is the right location, Shade Mountain Road is where he was and got stuck. Now, if there's anyone that sees anything that I share here, any family members, friends, if you want to correct any information, I will definitely add a pinned comment with corrections if anything isn't correct. You know, like for instance, this location, that's the only Shade Mountain Road I could find, especially given that they also said it was about an hour away. But like, what the hell was he doing there? Because in the end, that's not where she was found. But how sus was that? And how amazing that somebody's like, oh my word, okay, let me help tow him out. And then that became part of the evidence. Okay, so now we go back to the PCA. By the way, thank you for being here. Welcome. If you're only joining now, welcome to all the locals. We're looking at a case from Pennsylvania of a missing mother of 5 who was then found. Her body was found, and this case is really, really tragic and horrifying. And I really hope that there will be justice for Katlyn Harp, right? Stefan says, Katlyn Harp was found on Harp Lane? Yes. Yes, Stefan. I had to do a double take on that, like, wait, what? But we'll get to why and all of that, right? Okay, so JT said, I sent this live link to Heather, her sister. Maybe she will join. She is so welcome here. Katlyn's family and friends are so welcome here. Thank you, JT, for doing that. Okay, now on the 25th of June of 2025, a recently sold 2022 Kawasaki utility vehicle, a UTV, was brought to PSP Bloomsburg. Members of PSP Troop N Forensic Service Unit conducted a field test that showed a presumptive positive for human blood. The test area was the driver and passenger seat of the UTV. This UTV was known to be utilized by Vincent Harp as recent as the 18th of June of 2025 via trail cam footage provided by a neighbor. Now just listen to that whole paragraph. Number 1, the person he sold the UTV to turned that UTV into the police. See something, say something, something sus, they turn it in. That was amazing. This community is amazing. And secondly, they also had this trail cam footage provided by a neighbor. again. They saw something, they said something, they handed it in. I think that they did amazingly. All these people coming together to try to piece this whole investigation together is really great. Letteros by Betteros said, always appreciate you, G, mods, and Grizzlies. Thank you so much. Okay, now Armchair Tay said, yes, this is the right place, Shade Mountain Road, and I'm friends with Katlyn. I'm devastated by this whole thing. Any more questions about the layout? I'm here to help. I went to high school with her. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you so much for being here, Armchair Tay. Okay, so through further examination of Vincent Harp's cellular data, his path of travel was mapped on the evening of the 20th of June of 2025 as he returned from Shade Mountain Road to his residence. The Middleburg Police Department provided video surveillance depicting Vincent Harp's Chevrolet Silverado passing their station located at 13 North Main Street, Middleburg at 1850 hours, consistent with his cell phone activity. The video clearly depicts a large box in the bed of his vehicle. Surveillance was also obtained from the VFW located at 1258 Millville Road, Bloomsburg. On the 20th of June of 2025 at 17:40 to 5:40 p.m., Vincent Harp's Chevrolet Silverado can be seen passing this location, also consistent with his cell activity. Oh man, can you imagine the trial? We can already see it, right? They're going to show us where the car went. They're going to show us where the cell phone went. The video clearly depicts a large green box in the bed of the vehicle. Surveillance was also obtained from the VFW located at 1258 Millville Road, Bloomsburg, on the 20th of... did I read that already? Yeah, I read that. Now, the PSP employed extensive resources, including aviation units, K9 teams, drones, ATVs, and the Special Emergency Response Team known as CERT, S-E-R-T. Over the course of the investigation, they executed 20 search warrants and followed up on public tips received via social media and 911. Now, thank you again to Grizzly Cat for finding this beautiful picture of Katlyn, my goodness, and for just brightening it up and editing it for us. It looks so, so pretty. Shame. That's Katlyn. June 29th of 2025. On the 29th of June of 2025 at approximately 12:29 hours, PSP Bloomsburg received a call from the victim's sister, Heather Lane, notifying that she and a search party believed that they had located Katlyn at 86 Harp Lane, Montour Township, Columbia County. This property was formerly owned by Vincent Harp, so that's why it's Harp Lane. I would assume it's Harp Lane, formerly owned by Vincent Harp. Apparently he sold it in October of 2023. I wonder why. What else are you hiding on that property, sir? And so how amazing that the search party, led by Katlyn's own sister, they were so determined. She had that gut feel of like, I think I know where we need to go. Okay, they were working a little faster than the police. I know the police have lots of paperwork and obstacles and things, but like they were like, we need to go there. Oh my word. And then they found this box and they called the police. So they said consent was obtained from the current homeowner, and investigators and other emergency personnel responded to the area. A large green metal box consistent with surveillance viewed of the box in the bed of Harp's Silverado was discovered along the mountainside north of Vincent Harp's former property. The box had a strong odor of decomposition emitting from it. The box was retrieved from the mountainside approximately 180 yards from the edge of the cliff. Oh my word. It reminds me of that movie, The Lovely Bones, you know, when the box is just like, there's a metal box that's just like kicked, you know, into a hole then. But this is like over a cliff. Oh my word, what? A large green metal box consistent with surveillance. So what the box they saw on his truck. Now the box again had a strong odor of decomposition emitting from it. The box was retrieved from the mountainside approximately 180 yards from the edge of the cliff. The box lid was locked with a key master lock. Upon cutting the lock and opening the box, human remains were discovered. Katlyn Harp was identified via a tattoo as the human remains. Oh man, what a sad, sad day for Katlyn's family and friends. Further examination of Vincent Harp's cell records revealed that his phone was in the area on the 21st of June of 2025 at 10:30 in the morning, passing the dump site area on Route 42. At approximately 6:08 p.m., his phone was on Hollow Road, just west of Harp Lane. Based on the aforementioned facts and circumstances, your affiants respectfully request a warrant of arrest be issued for Vincent Harp to answer for the charges set forth. Julie said, condolences and love to all of Katlyn's family and friends. Thank you for bringing cases to all of our attention, G. Of course, thank you so much. And thank you all for asking me to. Without you and all of you asking me to cover this case, I don't know. I saw it on X and I was following along there, but it's because you guys made me aware of it. So thank you so much. Let me show you this clip as well over here.
It was just after 2:30 this afternoon when the county coroner's office says he and others were called to this address along Harp Lane after the body was discovered. Newswatch 16 did reach out to the property's owner, who says that the nearly 40-acre plot of land was vacated after a fire destroyed a small home. Property records show the land was sold in October of 2023 by Vincent Harp, the husband of Katlyn Harp, who's been missing since June 19th. Newswatch 16 did reach out to Vincent Harp but did not get a response. Neither the coroner's office or state police have released the identity of the deceased woman or if this discovery is related to the investigation of the missing 33-year-old woman here in.
Oh man. Okay, so there's that one and then there's also this one.
I'm Mark Hiller. We come on the air tonight with the body of a missing Bloomsburg area woman found and her husband now accused of killing her. Today's developments come 10 days after Katlyn Harp had disappeared, sparking an intense state police investigation in Columbia County. Dozens of investigators coming from a wooded area of Montour Township Sunday afternoon were tight-lipped about what they were up to. In a matter of hours, it all became clear. The Columbia County coroner confirms investigators searching along Harp Lane found the remains of 33-year-old Katlyn Harp. Soon word came that they took her husband, 37-year-old Vincent Harp, into custody without incident and arrested him for her death. He is charged with criminal homicide, abuse of corpse, and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence. The victim, a mother of 5, was last seen alive June 19th at the couple's Fairview Drive home in Hemlock Township. Forensics investigators searched that home on Saturday, not revealing what, if anything, they found. Vincent Harp is being held without bail and faces a hearing set for July 14th. And tonight, the Columbia County coroner tells us he will conduct a forensic autopsy on Monday.
Okay, we're going to get to that now as well. All right, so here we go. All right, so they had that warrant for his arrest. This box with her body in it was found on Harp Lane in Montour Township, Pennsylvania, a 38-acre wooded property that he owned until October of 2023. Wow. So I wonder if he was going to originally go to that Shade Mountain area, because what was he doing there? Unless he had like a box buried there or something. I don't know. What was he doing there? And maybe he decided, oh crap, no, people have seen me there now. Got stuck in the mud. I don't know. Because it's weird that he went there too. Now, Heather Lane, Katlyn's sister, said, we found her. Emphasize the we. Because they did. It's because of her sister, right, that they found her. Now, troopers cut open the lockbox and identified Katlyn's remains via a distinctive tattoo. The Columbia County coroner, Jeremy Reese, pronounced her dead at 3:30 p.m. The body was in an advanced state of decomposition, wrapped in plastic and padlocked in a military-style metal locker. Okay. So Vincent Lloyd Harp, 37, was arrested on June 29th of 2025. He was charged with criminal homicide, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. The PSP's Troop N major case team, in collaboration with the Columbia County District Attorney's Office, conducted an exhaustive investigation involving cell phone data, surveillance footage, forensic evidence, and public tips. The discovery of blood on the UTV and Vincent's inconsistent statements were pivotal in building the case. And obviously that's also true. But imagine if this would have then been a no-body case. So it's because of Katlyn's sister that they found her body. I'm not saying that the police wouldn't have. They possibly would have. But her sister did an amazing job with her own search team. So he was arraigned before Judge Brenda Hess Williams and has been denied bail, no bail for him. He's currently being held at the Columbia Correctional Facility. His next court date is a preliminary hearing, which is set for July 14th of 2025. So the Pennsylvania State Police shared this, they said, for immediate release on June 29th, homicide investigation, formerly missing person investigation, update, arrest made. And this is pretty much everything that we already just went over. They said, we'd like to thank the public for sending in tips through the use of social media and calls made to 911. Every tip was followed up by members of the troop and criminal investigation unit. Any information obtained from outside sources, which was not released by the Pennsylvania State Police, should be considered unofficial. Media contact, they've got all the numbers there in case if you still have trail cam footage, dash cam footage, any ring cam footage, if you saw anything and you haven't yet said anything or turned over that evidence, please do so. You never know. It could actually really help the case, right? The missing person investigation, this is still from the old one, sorry. This was when it was still active and everything, and then they had this update with the arrest made, of course, then it's a homicide investigation with the arrest made. And there's a little screenshot there where they say, got him. That's all I could really see. I haven't seen a video clip or something of him being arrested, but there he is, arrested. Claiming, he didn't do any on-camera interviews, but he did apparently speak to the media and said he's innocent. He doesn't know why people are blaming him. Of course, right now he's innocent or proven guilty, but I don't think he thought he's getting arrested. So on June 30th of 2025, an autopsy was performed of Katlyn Harp by Dr. Christopher Sullivan in Allentown. They said findings of the autopsy include that Harp's body was in a very advanced state of decomposition, secondary to being placed in the container consistent with a military-type storage locker for over a week. No evidence of gunshot wounds or of penetrating trauma, and no fractures to the extremity bones are noted. Given the condition of the body, additional testing and additional review of today's examination findings, including toxicology testing, will be performed in an effort to determine the cause of death by Dr. Sullivan. There's no estimate on the time to complete the additional testing and analysis at this time. The manner in which Katlyn's body was placed into the military-type storage container, the container secured via a padlock and discarded into the wooded area, remains consistent with the manner of death classification of homicide. The investigation by the coroner's office remains ongoing in collaboration with the PSP, Bloomsburg, and the Columbia County District Attorney, who may release additional details at their discretion. No additional information will be released at this time. Now, there will be a celebration of life that Heather Lane, Katlyn's sister, sharing on her Facebook. So if you follow her Facebook as well, she's made lots of posts and lots of updates throughout the search for her sister. And then, of course, when she said we, emphasizing we, found her, and now she's organizing a celebration of life for July 8th of 2025 at 1 p.m. They said it's easier to put it out here. This way, I'll also put the link to the Facebook page that they created for that celebration of life in the description box for you. Okay, so I just want to see. Okay, no, there's no other clip. I just want to. They've also got a GoFundMe, which I have linked in the description box for you as well. Now, I know everybody would probably, if you follow this case, you want me to talk about this, right? So I'm just going to say this is a huge speculation time now. I don't know. I'm just going to share what I've seen on social media, and people have questions, including the family of this lady whose name is Stephanie. And she died in 2021, I believe it was. Stephanie, sorry, hold on. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to double check the date there. I think it was in 2021. So they said Vincent is allegedly a violent man and has a past of physical abuse. Now, there's a lot of messages and things I could screenshot, but I'm just sticking to the bare minimum today. But there's accusations from ex-girlfriends and everything that he was a domestic abuser. So his first wife died of an overdose while apparently having a broken arm and known for being sober at the time. No drugs or paraphernalia was found, and her family found her death and still do find it suspicious, especially now. Stephanie was married to Vincent for 7 years, and they had 3 children. When his first wife was discovered, he apparently brought someone with him, and then he recorded himself going through the door to her home. The next day, he stripped her entire apartment, including the carpet. It's kind of weird. A woman he dated after Stephanie had died allegedly filed multiple police reports about the abuse that she suffered from him. He has a lengthy list of charges in Pennsylvania, including physical abuse and theft. Now, I have not gone down the rabbit hole onto the Pennsylvania court docket to have a look at all these charges yet. But I did see that on Facebook someone has, and they shared a lot of screenshots, and they say that his criminal career started from before he was even 20 years old. So there's a lot of theft, burglary, conspiracy to commit burglary, assault, all of that, right? So a lady called Hannah Quinn on Facebook also said about Stephanie, she's my cousin. He was extremely violent and abusive. I mean, extremely abusive to my cousin. And me and my family know what he did. We just can't prove it. Everyone that knew Steph knew this wasn't an overdose. Fast forward 4 years later, and now what was his third wife is now dead because he killed her, just like he did my cousin. I hope he rots. Wow. I don't know. That's obviously a rumor, but yeah, I can imagine her family, Stephanie's family, must be like, huh. So this was something that was shared in this newspaper on the 24th of November of 2018. Press Enterprise. It says, husband accused of threats. It says a man allegedly smashed the driver's side window of his wife's 2010 Subaru while she was in the driver's seat, and then jumped onto the hood as he threatened to kill her, court papers state. The early morning, November 19th, running between Vincent Lloyd Harper, 30, and his wife Stephanie Harp at their home in Martin Drive, a fight between the two the previous night, during which Vincent allegedly roughed up Stephanie, the paper added. So there are things that are documented, in the papers somewhere here, but again, this is rumor, right? Also, I see we have someone in the house. Okay, gossip, rumor, and innuendo is here. There's a lot of gossip in this case, and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of things going on in this case. And this Vincent Harp, I think we're still going to find out a lot more about him, right, as time goes on. There you are. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, Kathy's channel, go check it out. So I'm going to link that for you. It's on Facebook as well. If you just research Vincent Harp, or even if you just type in Facebook Katlyn Harp, you're going to find lots and lots of results that are very interesting on social media rumors, right? So here about Katlyn's disappearance, it says husband insists he's innocent. Buckhorn area man says missing wife has taken off before. Okay, right. Oh my word. Don't they always say that? She's left before. I don't know. She packed a bag and went to a friend's house. Last I saw her was the night before. May have had an argument. Like, okay. So Vincent Harp says he has nothing to do with his wife's disappearance and is as desperate as her relatives to find Katlyn Harp. Oh, really? Were you part of the search teams? I don't think so. He said he's turned over his phone and vehicles to police and sold other property to put up a reward. You sold the UTV? Apparently he was already trying to sell other cars and items in the house and all sorts of things. He said he's selling it to put up a reward, okay? But the missing woman's twin says I did read that as well. Somewhere else they said twin. So I'm not too sure if anyone knows, is Heather her twin? Okay, so it says the missing woman's twin says some of his story doesn't make sense to her. 4 days after Katlyn Harp was reported missing, state police had no update Tuesday. Harp, 33, went missing sometime between Thursday and Friday after a location sharing app last placed her at 20 Fairview Drive at her home at 7:30 p.m. Thursday, police said. Since then, those on Facebook and other social media apps questioned Vincent Harp's involvement. He sat down with a reporter on Tuesday outside his home in 100-degree heat for more than an hour because he did not want his two children, ages 11 and 10, to overhear the conversation, he said. Snapchat argument. He said the events leading to his wife's disappearance started with what seemed to be a minor disagreement. He insisted the Thursday evening argument was not physical. He had seen Katlyn Harp was receiving notifications on her phone of messages from other men on Snapchat, a photo messaging app. She was getting out of the shower. I asked her what they were about. She said they were just friends from Lewiston, and we talked about it, but it wasn't like a heated argument, like screaming, hollering, nothing like that. Oh, just a bit of murder, hey? What? Allegedly. Okay, so he said that they ate dinner together, and he thought everything was okay. A walk. Around 7:30 p.m., Vincent Harp said Katlyn Harp disappeared for a moment. Okay. We were each smoking a cigarette, and I went back in to get a drink. I came back out, and she wasn't out here, Harp said. She'd gone for a walk, he said. This was around the time the location tracking app last registered a location from her phone, according to Katlyn Harp's sister, Heather Lane, 33 of Lewiston. But Vincent Harp said that Katlyn Harp came back and told him that she was trying to clear her head, he said. Yeah, that story doesn't make sense either, based on the text message. Vincent Harp said that he went to bed and woke up around midnight to see his wife outside on the balcony smoking a cigarette. He joined her again. The two talked briefly, and then he went back to sleep. He said, when he woke up Friday morning, he said she was just gone. So now this. Were there any cameras? Did anyone have a hidden camera? Because, oh my word, we need to see that interview. Hey, if anyone finds it after this live stream, if there's anything like that, I haven't seen anything like that out there. Otherwise, I think it would be quite... everyone would be quite busy with it, hey, especially given the charges now. But who knows? Maybe they did have something, and maybe they'll eventually publish it. But it sounds more like it was, a sit-down interview. So somebody, which people are speculating on social media, could be her sister. I don't know who posted this, but somebody who knew Katlyn posted this on Facebook and said, I love all people, some less than others. I've never harbored hatred towards any human being before in my entire existence. This is the most bullshit I've ever read. Never beat her? Lies. Nobody was there for her? Lies. Never had a job? Lies. Out of respect for her family and the off chance hope that it wasn't real, I have not publicly announced my suspicions that you hurt Katlyn for the last time until now. But I felt it the second I realized I was looking at a photo on a missing persons poster, and you know how I know it is lies? Because she always called me on her way out of your effing door, Vinny, and she always came here to be safe from you and vent all the shitty shit that you did to her before driving to her family, who she would have called on the ride there. Last time, she spent the night because she didn't feel safe to return to you. She got a job in a place almost immediately, and I was so effing proud of her. I was sure she was finally getting away from you, and then she gave it all away again to go back to you. Do not sit here and act like you are a effing victim when we all know that you've hurt her before in a very specific pattern of manipulation and physical abuse. You do realize the police can pull messages even after you delete them from the devices and locations from phones, even if they were off. Right? Yeah, you tell him. Uncle Google's gonna get you. Bai said, when does Walmart enter the story? I also want to know. Maybe at some point we'll know. We haven't heard anything like that yet. But yeah, if he thinks that he could have deleted any Google searches or messages or anything, they're going to find all of that. I just want you to know that we will piece it all together, and you will get the punishment you deserve here on earth and forevermore, wherever it is your soul goes to be torn apart by the universe. Katlyn never deserved this as her reward for taking the most broken thing that she'd ever found into her heart and trying to love it whole again. You never deserved one iota of that love that she had for you. I despise you, Vinny, and I hope you rot from the inside out slowly until your skin comes off in chunks and your eyeballs melt out of your head and there isn't enough of you left to reincarnate. Yeah, you tell him. Oh my. Okay, so I don't know who exactly the author of that is, but it's shared just like as it's seen here, cut off like that, cropped. That's how it's shared on social media, right? So here are pictures of the beautiful Katlyn Harp, and I assume those are her children from her Facebook account. Mother of 5 with 2 stepchildren as well. I don't know exactly where the kids are now either. I know everyone's going to ask as well. Apparently, one of the weird things as well is that at the house they found, I've just seen a couple of articles, so I'm not 100% sure about this, but they said that they found her wallet and her keys and everything. I don't know about her phone. Oh, man, but shame. This case does have a lot of patterns, unfortunately, under the banner of coercive control. DV. We don't yet know if this, we can call him baby boy already, I suppose, but where is his mom? Where did he go after this? Did he just sit at the house? Right, what did he do? I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. Now here's one cannot call this a fun fact. I don't know what to call it. An additional piece of information that I found while looking up this case. So they say at the house where Katlyn lived with Vincent, another murder was committed in 2012. On July 3rd of 2012, a murder occurred at 20 Fairview Drive, Hemlock Township, Columbia County, Pennsylvania, prior to Katlyn Harp living there. The victim was Frank Spencer, 46 years old. He was shot to death with gunshot wounds, once in the head and once in the chest. The Pennsylvania State Police took over the investigation. Frank Spencer's ex-wife, Maria Sonuti Spencer, and her father, oh, she a baby girl, her father, Anthony Franklin, were charged with criminal homicide and arson in connection with his death. And the dad apparently fled to Argentina, and then they eventually caught him. The state attorney general's office indicated they had harassed Spencer and his friends and set houses on fire. She was convicted and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in November of 2015, and the dad was convicted and sentenced to life without parole in December of 2018. Oh my word. So if Katlyn was murdered at the house, which we don't know, but that house would have had 2 murders happen in it. Wow. So just wanted to share that with you as well. I just found it interesting while I was digging for that as well. So here we go. Let's quickly show you this GoFundMe. Katlyn Harp helps support funeral expenses. They said, as many of you know, Katlyn has been found. Oh, shame, man. I know they really obviously wanted her to be found alive and well. Maybe just for a second thinking, maybe she did just go and clear her head. Initially, from Katlyn's sister's post, I saw that she said the police said they don't think there's any sign of foul play. They think maybe she did just turn her phone off and go and just clear her head for a while. Oh, no. So they said, our hearts are broken as we now shift our efforts from searching to honoring her memory. We are raising funds to help lay this beautiful soul to rest. Katlyn was one of the kindest, most genuine people you could ever meet. Her warmth, laughter, and love touched everyone around her. She'll be deeply missed by all who knew her as a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. If you are able and willing, any donation, no matter the amount, will help Katlyn's family during this incredibly difficult time. Thank you all for your continued love and support. And they also shared the flyer that they had made initially and a picture, of course, of Katlyn. And I have shared this in the description box for you. Now, another thing I want to show you is quickly this, where it's Katlyn Lane's celebration of life service. So I have seen that there's been a shift where they're now reverting to her maiden name instead of Katlyn Harp, which I can completely understand, right? Why would they want his? They don't want any attachment to his surname, right? So Katlyn Lane's celebration of life service, Granville Fire Company Event Center, Tuesday. This is Tuesday, 8th of July, 2025. Yes, it's 7 p.m. Looks like Central Time. So you can find this. I'll link it for you as well on Facebook. Okay. And if any of you go to this, if you're a Grizzly and you go to it, please give Heather a big hug from us. Even if she doesn't want to be hugged, then just say we send her lots of love and all our condolences. And let me know if you go as well. So I hope that people will show up and support Katlyn's family and friends as they honor her at the celebration of life. And then I just wanted to show you as well, if you just type in Katlyn Harp into Facebook, right? Then you'll see lots of results. And this is her sister, Heather Lane. And one of her latest posts, she said, I know everyone's waiting to hear Katlyn and our story. We need to first get some more answers and send her away in the biggest way possible. I will let everyone know. Once that's over, our story will be told. It was a good group of about 15 or so family or best friends between reading comments or messages, out in the trenches, searching and marking maps, following the signs, determining what leads or tips are true or false, doing our own investigation because we were supposed to find her. We want the story to be right all the way, and that can only happen when we tell it together. There's a bigger picture to this. Katlyn has made a huge impact all over the world, more than any of us could have imagined. It's a shame that we had to lose her, but God had a plan, and this had to mean something. Justice needs to be served, and we will get it. We are not taking all the credit. We know that PSP needs to follow rules and guidelines, but maybe in future DV cases, no matter the gender, they will listen to the family and work with them. We need to all remember that she was their family for the last 3 years too. It's just as sad for them as it is for us. I want to make that clear to everyone. Once again, thank you from all of us. And then she tagged her sister, Katlyn Harp, whose Facebook page is still up as well. Now, Brittany Harp said, what in the actual F is wrong with people threatening our family and putting all our info on Facebook for all these crazy people to see and do what? Honestly, what do you think you'll accomplish? You want someone else to get hurt? My family loves Katlyn Harp. Most of my family barely talk to Vinny. Just because someone in his family does not mean we would stoop to his level. We cannot control Vinny. We do not and have not agreed with his life choices for a long time. Most of these people do not even know our family. Like, come the F on. Stop harassing my family and putting our personal information on here. Well, I really hope people don't do that. It's actually so sad to hear that people actually do that. Like now they're attacking Vinny's side of the family just because. That's not fair. So if you just type in the name Katlyn Harp, I know they're reverting to Caitlin Lane, but if you type in Katlyn Harp, you'll find a lot of search results. Here's pictures of his first wife who died from the supposed overdose. She had a broken arm and all of that, right? So I'm giving you this tip so that you can go and do your own research. If you type in Katlyn Harp into the search bar on Facebook, you will find all of these results as I'm showing you now. And then you can just expand here and read more about maybe what happened with the first wife, what's being speculated, and all of that, right? And you can see a lot of resources here as well. Like here is another whole paragraph about Vincent Harp's alleged abuse, right? Like his DV. So here you can just, there's so much. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, there certainly is a rabbit hole in this case. But most importantly, I really hope that there will be justice for Katlyn. Next court date is July 14th of 2025. Here are the documents. As you can see, this is a court case summary. So we've got that, and you can see the charges and everything on here as well. Preliminary arraignment and then preliminary hearing is the 14th of July of 2025. Here are the charges that Vincent Harp is facing: criminal homicide, abuse of a corpse, tamper with or fabricate physical evidence, right? So you can see that, and his bond was denied. And then the PCA that I was sharing screenshots from is from here. This is the probable cause affidavit. Okay, police criminal complaint first. So we've gone through all of this. I'm just showing you where it came from, right? So thank you again, Grizzly Cat, for getting this for us. We do love to have documents so that we can see the police facts on paper. We want to get the most factual source possible, right? So between what the police have shared and what her family, Katlyn's family, have shared, yeah, we've had quite a bit of information. So I'm very, very grateful to all of them. So we've got that as well, and we've gone through everything else. All right, everyone. Well, let's see what you've got to say. LaDonna Coleman said they, Grizzly to Crime, will be there. Who's going to be there? Are Grizzlies going to the celebration of life? I really hope so. But either way, I really hope that, that this Vincent guy, no, don't give him bail. It sounds like he really needs to just stay where he is right now, even just based on his past and on the allegations. And even some of the charges that I see, someone shared a whole bullet-pointed list of every criminal charge that he's ever faced and pleaded guilty to and spent time in prison for. So he's probably in the right place now, right? So thank you so much, everyone. If you missed the video that I made for you today, I made a video about Brian Koberger and where he's very likely going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So go and check that out in the video section. If you are on Patreon, I also made you a video. It is actually a public Patreon post today, so go and check it out. It's a video preview of what you would normally get behind the scenes there on Patreon. So thank you to everyone who watched that. I will see you all again very soon. Sending so much love to Katlyn's family and friends, and I am so proud of them, number one, for the search that they conducted. Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. And I am so sorry for their loss. All right, everyone, I will see you again very soon. In the meantime, stay safe.